Welcome to the Geekboy channel. In this video I want to share my thoughts on some Hololive EN members and speak about those whom I find quite underrated. Of course, all the girls are very talented, but for some reasons I believe that some of them got less attention than what they deserved. And don't worry, I'll make a part 2 about Hololive Indonesia and Japan as well. Maybe the last will even get 2 parts, since they have many generations and talents. As for today, let's return to Hololive EN and start with one of the most obvious cases, which in my opinion is Shiori Novella.
Shiori! Welcome everyone to Hololive Advent's debut. I will be your first host for today, Shiori Novella.
Being a part of Hololive Advent, Shiori debuted in May of 2023, and at this moment she has around 675k on YouTube. The first thing you'll see is her design. She has quite an unusual model, with black and grey being her main colors, and overall she has quite a gothic inspired design or vibe. It adds a really nice contrast and focus on her yellow eyes, which gives them a unique feeling compared to other talents. So no matter how you look at her design, she feels special and stands out pretty good among other members.
I also research cannibalism too.
In addition to that, Shiori is widely considered to be the leader of Advent generation, both due to her personality and some lore details. She was the one who helped other members of Advent to escape the prison, and let's say here that the whole idea and backstory of Advent is pretty crazy. It's very easy to see Shiori or Narisa in such a story, but Bijou and Fuvamoko are something entirely different, at least in terms of their appearance.
Bye. Anyway, that was a nice little idea I had.
Now let's cover Shiori's activities. Slowly but surely she is making her way to a million, same as many other talents from her generation. A million might seem a simple goal if you take a look at previous generations, but it's easy to notice that new EN talents like Advent and Justice are going much slower. I guess it simply happens because many people prefer to watch their favorite YouTubers that debuted earlier or switch to indie VTubers. But honestly, Shiori is versatile. She has gaming content, a good amount of chatting, and nice collabs with many other girls. So the question is, why does she have fewer subscribers than other Advent members? Like, I mean, the closest to her is Bibu, but she's got 200k more, and that's taking into account that Bibu is quite specific VTuber, not in a bad sense in any way. I definitely cannot give you the exact answer, but what I can say is that Shiori had a pretty solid debut, second best of generation I'd say. Her lives were getting some good views, people were really hooked, so what happened next?
Raise up the audience. Yeah, can you like Cabidon the camera and then give us your best line? Yeah, do that. Yeah,
Is this like our secret fantasy beeps?
No, just do it. Just do it. I'm in charge here, okay?
Ah, that's what you want, huh? But tonight, I'm using you.
One of the reasons could be the fact that she had less musical covers or originals, at least at the beginning of her career. It's not the main source of views, but covers definitely helped to boost the channel. Although, if you'd ask me, I think the main reason might be a mismatch of people's expectations, or just a bit of bad luck or bad timing. Let me explain. Shiori's more dark story and design might make you think of her as more serious VTuber or even give some horror VTuber vibes, or something like that. But honestly, Shiori is quite cute. Yes, she is unhinged like Ollie and can be quite flirty and more dominant, but that's when it comes to communication with other girls. As for Shiori herself, she is really a very kind and funny person, and although I compared her to Narisa in her generation, she honestly might be closer to Bibu and Fuvamoko when it comes to her personality. Sometimes. And while seen as bad in it, some people could simply lose interest due to a mismatch of expectations. Like, I honestly thought for some reason that she is a spider girl or something like that, again due to her eyes. But according to her lore, she worked in an archive and stored memories. This matches her personality since she loves telling different stories, and sometimes she may tell some creepy things, but again, I feel like most of such moments were near her debut, and later Shiori showed her other sides more often. My conclusion here is that she has a great potential, but more people need to look at her personality rather than her design. I don't mean that I don't like it. I love both the original model and all of her new outfits. It's just that maybe some people simply think that Shiori might be more of a horror VTuber or something like that, but in reality she can be cozy. So if you are somehow avoiding Shiori, I really recommend giving her a try and joining a few of her lives. Next we have two talents at once, because both of them have a pretty similar number of subscribers. Baya and IRys have a bit more than a million, and I know that it's a good result, but I believe that both of them have a reason why they deserve more. They both debuted in 2021 and been in Hololive for quite a while. So let's discuss what they are famous for, and of course I will share some of my thoughts on why the numbers on their channels are such as they are.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Let's start with IRys because her situation seems more clear to me than Baels. I wanted to start here by discussing her model and activities and then conclude why I believe she is underrated. However, in her case, let's start with the reason, because I think that IRys is a story of lost potential rather than being underrated, as she is really amazing. And no matter where you look, is it her model, gaming, content, singing and personality, everything is on a very high level and it's hard to dislike IRys for something. She could easily be one of the most famous Hololive EN members, or at least have a much higher number of subscribers, something closer to 2 million. And there is only one reason why I think she performed less than she could, and in my opinion, it might be her debut model.
I really debated if I should say that. Hi, Iris. It's Iris. Oh, there we go. Stop being shy about that. You're gonna get over that soon.
I don't really hate it if you don't compare it to her new design, and overall I love that Hololive sometimes make experiments with the styles of VTuber designs, especially in the case of Hololive Indonesia. But with IRys' debut model, the idea was the same and it was a very solid one, but it just didn't work as well as the one she has right now, especially for some music clips or other type of content, except maybe for gaming. The previous design was less polished, which could be executed nicely on some fan arts, but if she had her newer model on her debut, I think a wider audience would love it. There is no way people won't like a design of a pink-haired, half demon, half angel with heterochromia. Okay, I guess I'm spending too much time describing the parts of her design that you already know and love. At the end, I'll add that I really love her songs and the outfits of her model. She also has some interesting videos and 3D performances, and one final thing, she knows Japanese pretty well, which once again should give her some popularity there as well. Now let's switch to Baya, and honestly in her case I have no idea why she has less followers than other talents. Like, once again, she can speak Japanese, her music performance is pretty good. I wanted to say that she has less collabs than other girls, but it's not quite true. In some way she's like Kiara, organizing some interesting events and sets the communication between other members on some shows or just collabs.
My soul. Make or Sudan Suru, my soul.
Yes.
Maybe I just love Baya so much because I love her choice of games, like the Yakuza series for example. And if I try to search for a reason why she is not as famous, then maybe it could be that Baya, like everybody else, is quite special, with her sense of humor, choice of games, and again, model design. And her choices might not always connect with something that is hyping right now. And that's okay, not everyone should make only trendy content. But at the same time, it might simply lead to the fact that Baya can have fewer memes or clips that reach a wider audience and help her to gain a new audience. But I believe that her approach helps to be loved by the audience that she already has. And my final theory, which might be the real truth, is that Baya simply holds back and tries her best not to reach 2 millions. It happens so that she gave a promise and now she doesn't want to keep it.
And I made a promise that I don't want to keep.
What if you show us when you hit 2 million subs or something? If I ever hit 2 million subs, I would do a feed cam review. I'm saying that because I don't think it will ever happen.
And for the final part of today's video, I've left probably my favorite VTuber from Hololive. It might be one of the reasons why I believe that she is a very underrated, but I think that most people will agree that Cecilia Immergreen is amazing. She is one of the coziest VTubers with a freaky and funny side as well, of course. But that's not so surprising since her best friend is Gigi Murin. She is one of the newest talents of Hololive since she debuted in just this generation. So as I mentioned earlier, it's not that surprising that she has less followers than other members. But when I noticed that she has the least among all Justice members and the whole Hololive EN, that was a bit shocking for me. Popularity is not measured just by the amount of subscribers, but it tells how wide is the audience that is interested in a VTuber. Remember how I said that Baya is not Russian for trends? Well, that applies to Celia even more, since she clearly just does what she likes and enjoys. The easiest example here is the amount of collabs with Gigi. If you want more views, you prefer diversity. But if you love spending time with Gigi, you just stream with her all the time. And that's what Celia is doing.
Arara. Ah. I keep going. I'm almost there.
So in some way it feels obvious and reasonable that she has this amount of followers. But if it's easy to explain, it doesn't mean that the case is clear and fair. It is just hard to believe for me because her design is working so well, and it's hard to dislike her. Cecilia's design is easy to recognize and the idea behind it is very decent. And the main reason why I love her content is that it's all so heartfelt. Just take a look at her songs. She is not some top tier singer, but listen to her originals or covers. It's a very warm and friendly experience, if I can say so. She might be one of the VTubers with the most distinguished and open personalities, and all this take into account that she is not an indie VTuber. So for me, the fact that for such people as Cecilia being themselves is not enough to gain more fans is quite surprising, but maybe it's just my opinion. You can let me know yours in the comments. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll work on the same video about Hololive Indonesia and Japan. So if you believe that I should mention somebody in particular, you can let me know as well. Meanwhile, you can watch some other videos like best duos or most famous VTubers from different countries, and thank you for watching and see you!